So I can't change this scientific endeavor. I can't change the research climate. I can't do a lot of things that are just, the fact is, that's just academia, the way that it actually works, and that there's lots of negatives that happen. But I think about what it was like when I was a PhD student after giving up a lucrative career as an engineer. I gave it up I went to one of the best schools in all of Canada and had a great career set up to become an engineer. And I could have made a lot of money and done very well for myself. But then I decided to go do PhD research. I loved innovation. I loved understanding how the world worked. I thought that there was going to be a lucrative career by doing that, making that investment in myself and in the career. But I got into it, and after 3-4 years, I was told repeatedly, and I didn't sort of listen to it, that PhD life is totally different, and that it doesn't matter how amazing that you actually are and how talented you are. The only thing that really matters is the research articles that you have. Now, the problem is that research articles take forever to produce, to manufacture, to have something that's actually good. And at least in my career, the way that things happen in my life, it takes a long time. And I know that other scientific endeavors are different, but man, it's still the same thing. No matter how many paper publications you have, you're trying to convince the rest of the world that you're good enough. It's a social process. It has nothing to do with the scientific endeavor of the knowledge that you're actually creating, but it's very much a social process of demonstrating to other people that you're somehow good enough. And when you go through this process, I remember the one person that I'm talking to right now is me. When I finished my PhD, it was 5 years out. This was after doing a master's program that I sailed through. I did really well. And it was normally a 2-year program. I did it in a year. And I sailed through, and I was extremely, I worked very hard. Very bright, a bright student, worked very hard. And then I finished my PhD. And I tried to apply for jobs. And nothing happened. And I had no job, and it was my wife who was working at the time. She has a professional career, but we had 2 small kids, very, very small kids. One was 2 years old. The other one was just an infant. And I remember feeling broken inside because I couldn't get a job after a year and a half of looking. And I remember thinking, this is ridiculous. How do we allow a system to go on for so long that is like this, where talented individuals can't get jobs, there's nothing that's there, and we don't honestly and openly talk about it. And then those people, we don't try to actively discourage people from going into it, but then on top of it, we don't help people and coach people and have somebody on the inside that just has somebody saying, hey, you could do this. I know that many of you think that the way that it's set up, that it works perfectly fine, that all you need is a good supervisor. The problem is good supervisors don't really exist that much. They're few and far between because it requires somebody that's both competent, that understands what's going on, but also is very generous. And the entire infrastructure, the scientific culture, is very narcissistic. It's very much about me and what I can actually accomplish, not about what other people are doing. There's very little generosity that happens other than thinking about what can I do to make sure somebody else benefits themselves so that they can make me better off. And, if you're not in the right setup, it doesn't work very well. It's kind of a broken system. And I think about that. I eventually got a job, and a really good job, and I wanted to work hard and to prove to other people, but then I realized that this doesn't change. The way you feel, the never feeling good enough, it never changes. There's one more thing. There's always this thing that sort of is holding you back, and you're always compared against other people in various different ways. And I think about, like, man, this is a crazy system, and to allow it to occur indefinitely is a crazy system. But I can't change that. I can't change everything. I can't change how it functions. I can't change how it makes you feel. I can't change how it takes very competent people and turns them into feeling not good about themselves and doing things that are not great overall. Now, if you're one of the fortunate few, and you're fortunate, that end up going to some place where it's easier to get a job, and you're the one person, the one pretty boy or pretty girl at the dance where everybody wants to talk to you, which is exactly what happens in academia, then life is great. It's fun. Everything works out for you. But for most of us, I would say 95%, we don't have that opportunity. Now, I think about this, and I think I can't change any of that kind of stuff, but I could be a one lone voice. I could be somebody that's speaking and telling you and encouraging you to get up, get going one more day, every single day. And I could do that online. I could do that in as many ways as I possibly can, and I can make that as part of my life where I just give you encouragement. So that if there is this one person like me, and I'm assuming that there is one person that's like me, that was lost, that felt, you have no idea what it's like to give away a lucrative career, invest all of your life into something, and then not have a job at the end of it after many years. It's worse than entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship, at least after a year or two, you give up and you go find a regular job. But in academia, it's always a little bit around the corner. There's always something that you believe that you can do that will change it, and you get fooled. You very much get fooled to continuing on. And I just want to say that if you're in this boat and you feel this way, you got this. I just want to really everybody to know that you have courage to do this. You're perfectly normal to have many of the experiences that you're going through. I don't know what career, I can't think of a single career other than maybe show business, I guess, where it's common to see people cry because something happened or it didn't work out. And it goes for everybody, whether it's somebody that's more of a softie or not softie. I don't know of any career that's like that. And I just want you to know that you're normal if you're experiencing this. You're perfectly fine. And you just got to take one more day. You take those little steps every day. That's it. One more step every day. That's how you get there, wherever there is. But I just want to remind you that it doesn't come easy for the majority of us. And I think we need to start talking about it and how to change this, at least for the one person that's out there that might be listening that needs this. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.